Welcome to the hottest real estate topics on the planet, keeping you up to date with all the creative ways to buy and sell real estate without bank qualifying, so anyone can build real income starting today. Here is another great show with Dealmaker Bill and Pete the Rookie.
All right, here we are at another episode of Flipping Houses for Rookies.
Good morning, Bill.
Good morning.
Good morning, Naomi.
So I wasn't here last week, so you two have to fess up. What did you talk about me? I know all the dirt and all the complaints and everything like that came out.
But that was after the show.
We did that in the car when we weren't on. No. What did we talk about last week, Peter? Episode 109. With this podcast, you be the judge. Are you really gutless when it comes to being rich?
It was a kind of a rant.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That was your rant.
That's right.
You going to do this or not do this?
Yeah.
Why are you listening? Why aren't you buying houses? Why aren't you buying the course, doing it, learning it, making money like my other students, my other people? Why aren't you doing it?
And you're talking
What's the matter with you?
And you're talking about last week.
Yeah, that's what we did last week.
But today we're going to talk about being gutless or not gutless.
No, that was last week's show.
That was gutless. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
So I don't think we didn't say anything bad about you.
All right.
We like
that's
you, Naomi.
disappointing.
We
No,
like
while you
you.
weren't
I
here,
need to work harder at this. I'm very disappointed in both
we're
of
very
you.
respectful. We don't chew down people unless they're there to chew back. You know? It's not fair.
So here's what we're going to do. Emma's going to put a link in the chat box right now. And people are going to pay me to get on the couch and actually give them like a psychology session. That's what we're going to do today.
A little counseling session.
That's the word I want.
Counseling
Yeah,
session.
we're going to do a counseling session today.
Little the
What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Well, there is no button in the chat, so don't look for it. I'm just being sarcastic. The name of today's show is, if you bought a property, what would you be most nervous about or keep you awake at night?
That's such a good question.
Let's talk about it on this podcast. So the rest of the description goes, one of the biggest obstacles to success and the real energy killer is the fear that you don't know how to do the stuff that your ideal career plans and requires.
Yeah.
And manage your personal energies like managing budgets in a company. If you are afraid more of doing it wrong than being a fix-it personality, this podcast is exactly for you.
A fix-it personality. I like that.
So
fix-it personality.
So if you're more afraid of doing it wrong, in other words, all that energy of like, I'm doing it wrong, I'm going to do it wrong, instead of just having the flippant personality of like, I'll just fix it when it breaks.
Right.
Then the energy's in the wrong place.
Yeah.
And we're not going to get into profound. I mean, I think this show is going to be really cool. I don't get excited about the shows, but I'm excited about today.
Nice.
So the rest of the description, you ready? The reason why I'm excited, I'll tell you in about 2 minutes, because it's real live people. It's not just us talking. We're going to bring a lot of people into this. Okay?
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Chances are the best job for you. Naomi's like, what are you talking about, Bill?
We're looking for the people, Bill.
Chances are the best job for you won't become available at the precise time you declare yourself ready. Okay? So let's confront those fears in today's episode and talk about how failures taught me personally, how to seek opportunities that actually give me an advantage. So my fears have actually taught me opportunities and given me an advantage. So let's start.
Okay. Well, it's good if you can do that.
I can do that.
Absolutely. I mean, fear is such a powerful tool.
Yeah.
There's a saying, don't ever take somebody's fear away from them, or don't ever take somebody's pain away from them, because it's such a valuable tool if it's utilized right. You know, you're laughing. Why are you laughing? Do tell.
Well, pain teaches people lessons.
That's so true.
But after you learn the lesson, I like the pain to go away because you don't need it anymore. Because that's how I do it.
But the thing is
Bill, am I right?
You're
Sure, Peter.
you're the one that has to
Bill,
let
you know
it go.
what I'm talking about, Bill. What's that?
But you're the one that has to let it go away. So the person themselves
I have
has that ability, but don't try and do it for somebody else.
I have a friend who does it all the time.
Who's that, Bill?
I don't know what he's talking about.
I'm not sure what he's talking about either.
No, there's people that can help you do that.
Yeah.
Do
Absolutely.
what?
Help you like sort things out, see what caused the pain, see what it really meant, figure it out,
Right.
and then have the pain go
Because
away.
the pain
Okay.
is there for a reason. You know, it's showing a issue that needs to be taken care of. So, you know, in real estate investing, you know, somebody might be nervous about purchasing a house because what if this goes wrong? What if that goes wrong? Where the real underlying issue is perhaps their lack of confidence that they can handle whatever comes their way.
Mhm.
That there's always a way to get around something, you know?
Right.
So that's the real underlying issue. It's
That's right.
not what can go wrong, because things may go wrong or they may not. They may also go beautifully.
Right.
But they don't allow themselves that mental opportunity.
Yeah, so one of the things that I have learned from my pain is that it doesn't, it's not what happens. In other words, it's not what happens in the environment or what happens if a house burns down or a tornado comes. It's not what happens. It's how you respond to it that makes a difference. It's your reaction.
Mm.
You know, like I know people, like I physically know people that when I talk to them, sometimes my words will go into their mind and it's like an atomic bomb goes off.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's like boom and
Yeah.
right?
And you didn't even realize it was going to have that effect. It's just you were just telling what was already in
Right.
you and like what you knew and
Right.
and they're real.
And then there are some people I give my words to or my thoughts to,
and it's like burnt.
and they like completely excel and do amazing things that I would never even thought of.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the opposite. But
You know,
yeah,
so it
you're
goes
right.
both ways.
Yeah.
The atomic bomb is bad.
So here's what I did.
It's good.
Here's what I did.
Not in his example. It's bad. It blew up.
Go ahead.
I thought you were talking about like it blew their minds, like as in
The atomic
good
bomb
way.
is bad.
No,
right?
the atomic bomb is like it. Yeah,
Is a
blew
good
no,
thing.
no, like it
No, they're
blew
flipping
up,
out.
like it just destroyed everything.
Okay, so there's three different things that you can, when you're given over wisdom, is either the bad thing, like the atomic bomb,
Right.
or the excelling, or it's just a complete deadline.
Yeah.
Like you're
Yeah.
talking to a wall and like, knock,
Yeah.
knock, hello. Did you just realize what I said?
Nobody
No.
home.
numb,
Right.
numb.
Anyway, moving
That's a
on.
valid point. So here's what I did: is I actually went back into because we actually do events, right?
Yes.
We do live events. I have done webinars, and I've asked this question to a lot of my students. And the question is the name of today's show, right? Which is, where the hell did it go? And it's one of our main questions. So it's a survey question. If you bought a property, what would you be most nervous about or keep you awake at night?
Mm-hmm.
So I actually have answers that I've surveyed. I've tabulated answers. So I've got 5 common answers that I want to talk about. And that's what
Are
it's.
these,
So when
are these the top 5 answers?
yeah, pretty much. I wouldn't say they're top 5, but they're definitely in the top 10. They're
Yeah.
the ones that I hear and see all the time because we do these surveys at every meetup,
Mm-hmm.
right? I do them at every seminar. I've done them with my email list. I've sent it out, so I'm constantly asking because here's the thing. 1,000% arrogant and pompous from me. I do this. I do this every day. I don't often need help to do this. I make a lot of money doing this. When I have a problem, I don't have any difficulty with that problem because I feel like if I don't have enough knowledge, I know where to go to get the knowledge. And every day I solve problems. Like right now we're dealing with a water problem in Bunch Street.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we took a stab at it. We did 2 or 3 things. It's not working, but we're going to solve the problem. I'm not nervous about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like, oh my God, it's going to ruin the deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it just is.
Mm-hmm.
So the bottom line is that I've got a lot of experience. I'm being completely arrogant and pompous, which is whatever. If you don't like that, then just shut your damn recorder off right now because, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just the truth. I mean,
Sorry, folks.
it's just the truth. I mean, I've done so many deals. I'm not worried about anything.
Mm-hmm.
So when I ask people, what do you want to hear? It doesn't make a difference to me if I talk about private money, if I talk about lease options, if I talk about renovations. It doesn't make a difference to me because it's like just coming from within me.
Well, you have the experience.
Yeah.
You have a lot of experience. And, there's two ways to get educated. Try it by yourself, figure it out by yourself, or learn from people who've already done it and just shortcut the whole thing.
Right.
So that's why I sit here. That's why I go to workshops with you. That's why we've traveled and we read books. We still study. We keep our eyes open. You more than me, because you're ahead of me. So I just kind of trail after you. And
technology changes, the environment changes, the world changes, markets change, especially in real estate. Markets change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And the connections, like for example, Mark came to the meetup last night, and he's got some condo, this flipping amazing condo, and he's like, "Do you think these could sell?" And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
where do I show this to Naomi? She's gonna like freaking have an orgasm over this one. I mean, this place was freaking gorgeous.
he walked in
Wow.
wondering what to do about it. And I asked him a couple quick questions. Says, "Do you hear what Bill's talking about right now? Sit down and listen.
Yeah.
That's the deal on the board right now."
Yeah.
That's exactly. I think
As soon as Naomi sees this deal, man, she's going to be like all over it because it's it's down like in the center of New Haven, and it's it's like a $300,000
it's a renovated
condo.
church. 11 condos in a renovated church, and you look at you can still see
John
like
Street.
arches.
I thought he said Prospect, but it could be.
I think it's close to.
He said next to the Prospect Square or something like that. He called it something.
I think I.
Anyways. When you see it, look, see,
Bing.
so it's like
That's that's her atomic
but
bomb.
But that's my point right there. Is I know exactly what to do with it. It's like I got to get Naomi on this deal because she'll know exactly because this is like your turf. This is like your forte.
Do we have to record the rest of the show? Can we just
go talk to this guy? Yeah.
Sorry, everybody,
and it's like he says this guy's from Italy and he owns a bunch of properties. He owns property in Rome. He owns property here. He owns property there. It's free and clear. It's like
and it's vacant.
Yeah, it's vacant, and
he's thinking putting some money in and maybe move some walls so it's more. Yeah, leave it alone. It's fine. I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what it'll turn into, but my point is that when you have experience, and all it is the balls to do it the first time. Just have experience. When you see something like that, ding, that's a great deal, or that's a shitty deal. More likely, it's usually the other way. It's a shitty deal.
Right.
So
well, it depends on how flexible he is or what he's willing to do or to not do.
Right. It doesn't matter because the way I looked at it is there's more than one way to skin a cat. Because what I thought of was is even if he doesn't want to sell it, then I'll hook you up with I thought it was a perfect Airbnb.
Yeah.
Or it's perfect for your rent, your rental program because you're in New Haven, you got staff down there, you got people. I mean, he just needs to talk to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
So.
Wow.
It's a good deal. I mean, I'll buy it, but you know what to do with it better than I do.
Right. Right.
But that's my point is it's like, I know where the talent, it's like I've done enough of it. I know where the talent is. So it's like, I know I can give it to you and you can do a better job at it than I can. You know what I mean? Or vice versa. You'll give me a deal because you know that I'm better at it than you are. You know what I mean? Or,
exactly.
Whatever.
But I think too, like going back to the point of what we're trying to make is, the things that keep people awake at night when they have an opportunity come to them is they're scared like, oh, something comes up that I can't handle. There's always somebody out there, and it's a thing of like just picking up the phone, going to meetings, like reaching out.
Right.
And and I know I've talked about before, when I took over the law office, I didn't know a stitch about law, and all of a sudden I'm running a law office, which is probably insane. But the main thing was like there were all kinds of scenarios that I came up. I had no idea what was going on. It's just a thing of exactly picking up the phone, finding out who knows what.
Right.
You will always find an answer, no matter what industry, no matter what situation.
Right. All right, so let's go back to our survey. So it says, survey says, that's what I wrote down.
Yes, what does it say?
100 people were surveyed, and first answer is...
Yeah.
That was really loud, Pete.
So if you read the question again, it's if you bought a property, what would you be most nervous about or keep you awake at night? And the first answer we're going to cover is not having the correct answer yet.
When they're
Wait.
talking to a person,
That's the first thing.
not having the correct
Answer to talking to a seller.
Yeah, because then I have another one here that says not knowing an answer to the seller question or not sounding like I know what I'm doing.
Oh, that's funny.
So it's confidence, confidence, and confidence.
Well,
and knowledge.
Yeah,
knowledge.
but that won't help. Well, that won't help you if you don't know an answer. And actually, one of the girls,
where to get the answer.
One of the girls was there last night. Fatima was there last night, the gal, and some people talk about, I'm kind of new to this, not sure if I want to make mistakes. I said, look, it's really simple. You're not expected to know everything. That's not what a professional is. Any executive, president, CEO, team leader has a team, has people to refer to. So when you're in the house and somebody says something, say, you know what? I don't think I'd have a good answer to that right now, but I got somebody who can give you a great answer. I'll get back to you on that.
Exactly.
And then you look smart. You as an educator, I'm sorry, I don't know that answer, but I'll be right back. You get the book, and I found it. Here it is. You don't go, oh, I'm gonna make some stuff up. How fast you get caught out being full of baloney, and then you lose confidence, respect. It's gone. That's all you have to do. Because how can you possibly know everything until the end?
You can't. You can be doing this for...
I'm here for the new job. You got any experience? Sorry, buddy. How do you get a job without experience? You just have to start.
You just have to. But it's about your attitude and what you're made out of. Because you can be doing an industry for 20 years, well, at least real estate for 20 years, and still learning things because the market's always changing. Things are always changing.
A lot of moving parts around.
A lot of moving parts.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what I think. I think that you just answered the question perfectly.
I learned it from you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just so sweet.
No, I'm serious. I listen and ask you, but yeah, I remember you said that. I remember a lot of it, not all of it, but that actually, the reason I remember that is I had that problem.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm a professional at a number of things in my life. I'm really good at. Hand me some things, and I no nerves. Just give me bang. I don't have to prepare. I'm just on the spot.
Hand you guitar.
This, yeah, sure. Just like walk in. I have a guy come at 4:00 today. Did I prep? No. Walk in. I can do it. No. Just what do you want? Boom, bang. YouTube thing, blah blah. But with this, when you're starting something new, at my age especially, and you don't know about it, you feel a little stupid.
Right.
It's a little embarrassing to be not knowledgeable on something at this age. But when I got that point. You don't have to have all the answers. You can go get them.
Right.
That was a game changer for me, just to feel confident to talk to somebody and not be worrying and thinking about that instead of having your attention on the person talking to you and listening.
Sure.
That really helped me a lot.
And I think just to kind of draw the point back to you were talking about, my age. I think that should be encouraging for, for everybody.
Other octogenarians?
Well, that age is not an obstacle.
Well, I'll tell you my secret. A few years ago, when I hit middle age and beyond, I realized I was on the downslide of life because I am. I'm past middle age. I'm not going to live to be 122. I'm not doing it or more. But I realized another thing I'd studied and learned about life was life is about creating. Creating. Everything is creating.
Yes.
Creating. And I'm an artist. I can create. I'm an educator. I can learn. So I figure I'll just go create. Create this, create that, songs, real estate thing. You have to be creative.
Yes.
So you can do that. I've seen
Absolutely.
pictures. You ever seen a picture of a 92-year-old guy with arthritis go like this on the piano like crazy? And they can do that, and then they croak. Famous people like Johnny Winter was so bad off they had to drag him on stage, sit him in the chair, stick the guitar in his hand, and he'd explode. And they have to pick him up and carry him off.
Wow.
So there's a lot of strength in people if you use your creativity, your wits. Don't worry about other things.
Because you're always progressing or degressing. There's one direction or the other.
Yes, exactly. You got that one
if
right.
you're not creating and if you're not progressing, if you're not learning, if you're not growing.
Hey, Bill, jump in anytime.
Actually, what I wanted to say is I think I realized recently that my real estate tombstone.
But I totally got everything
Let's
you said.
record this here. Wait, it is being recorded.
I didn't mean to cut you off. That was really profound. I just felt bad. What?
My real estate tombstone is going to say, "He got me started." That's what my tombstone is going to be, because that's what
he wants people to say of him.
Yeah,
he got me started.
He got me started, right? Because just what you guys are saying, all of these ideas are manufactured in your own mind.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have you had an idea, and you're like, I'm going to put the couch in that wall over there. You get the couch over there, and it's like 12 inches too long. You know what I mean? It's like the physical universe and your idea didn't match. They didn't
Right.
align. So that's why I believe two-dimensional drawing or two-dimensional, like a piece of paper and a pencil, and kind of work it out first, and you get a kind of an idea or a concept, and then you implement it in the physical universe. And I know with me, at 54 years old, one of the most valuable lessons I've learned in life is what I think and what's going to happen never match. It's seldom match, I should say. Let's put it that way. As long as I have the core foundation and I know that if it doesn't match, I know what I'm going to do, then I'm going to go. That's where the fix-it personality comes in.
Yeah, I like that.
Right?
I like that.
Right.
So not having the correct answer, I think I don't even need to talk about that. I think he answered it correctly. What do you think?
Yeah,
I think that's
Got
perfect.
one.
So
I have another little trick up my sleeve. I don't know if you. It's nothing you said, but it's just something I have to do. Because you can still have a person, if he's a worrier, they're going to have, I could do this, I could do this, I could do that, or maybe this, and they'll have some options. Pick one. All I do is whatever the situation, I get as many options as I think I need to sort something out. We were at this house and we were sitting on the patio and looking at the leaky area, and I saw you think, so I just stopped, let you chew it over, because I knew you'd come up with something, and you did. But you just have to come up with option 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all you got. There's no more. Pick one. Just do it.
Yeah.
Don't worry
and
about
take
it.
action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is. What are you gonna do? I don't know. Well, what's one option? What do you mean? Pick an option. I could do this. What else could you do? What else could you do? Pick some options and just do it.
Well, in this particular
Don't be
case,
sitting
we have
there
a foundation
floundering.
that's leaking, so I decided that we need to just dig it out and just tar it, the outside of the foundation. So it's like where, I called my buddy and he's like, call my son, which I don't like the guy's son, so I didn't call him. I like him. He's 81 years old. He just did a job for me. He's great.
Wow.
Got a cigar in his mouth, never lights it. I've known the guy for 30 years. He never,
never
lit a
lights
cigar.
that cigar.
Never lights
Same
a cigar.
cigar.
Yeah, maybe. Comes up, does amazing things. I mean, this guy can tie your shoes with his machines, right? They're all clunky machines, but he knows how to run them, right?
Yeah.
So I call him, and he's like, call my son. I'm like, no. So then we have another friend where I call him, and I'm like, he's got to drive like an hour and a half just to get here. I'm like, So that's when we decided, right? I mean, I was thinking it's going to be $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. We have a $10,000 deal, maybe.
And then to put 2, 3, 4. Oh.
Just to get through the inspection process, right?
We're calling this Pete's Training House.
Yeah.
This is Pete's Training Real House.
So at the end of the day, we decided on Sunday we're going to just go rent. We rented a U-Haul truck, like a pickup truck. We're going to go to Home Depot, rent an excavator or a machine. I'm going to jump on the machine because I know how to do that. And I'm going to dig the hole, and we're going to have one of our guys come over with some tar. So something that was like going to be $3,000-$4,000 will probably cost us what?
A few hundred.
$600, less than $500.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it's
a little bit of
And
sweat
a
equity
day- a
going
day's
in.
work-
but,
I was thinking about having Emma come on Sunday, try to get her to come out work and take some pictures so we can.
we'll get pictures. No, it's not going to be
Anyways.
that much because didn't cost that much to
Yeah.
rent stuff.
So we covered that. So not having the correct answer. Next survey question says, same question. So the question is this: if you bought a property, what would you be most nervous about or keep you awake at night? Ongoing cost for holdings.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Nobody wants to talk. What happened,
No,
you guys?
That is a problem.
It's a real thing.
That is a problem.
It's a real thing. So
Well-
you want to make sure that you've got the, a good healthy cap rate. Like people say 10%. Really, I think you need a good deal
Look
more.
at the renter head.
Cap rate.
Yeah.
I mean, for holding costs, but
Yeah.
then, flips are different and, it depends on how you're structuring it. But to make sure that because we see it all the time where these investors, they put the deal too lean. They cut the deal too lean. And they're not taking into account like all the stuff that can happen.
Okay. So I'm going to walk around the house and come in the back door.
If you want, you can use the front door if you want.
No, I'll come in the back door with this one. My
All right. Bill likes.
my preference in using the back door in this one. So the real problem with holding cost, is your negotiating skills.
Yeah, that's what I
the
said.
real problem. Because what happens is when you're buying the house, you're having trouble negotiating the deal and having trouble getting the price at the right number so you can afford to have the holding cost.
So again, the underlying issue is confidence or lack thereof.
Or just the math to know
True.
what it is and know that it's a steadfast number.
And if you know the math, then you have the confidence.
Right.
Or
Like
should
I learned this
have
from
the
my partner, the only
Mm-hmm.
partner I've ever had. He's at this point. I talked to him the other day. He's 80 or 81, wanting to have lunch.
Same guy with the cigar?
No cigar. He doesn't smoke cigars. No.
2 81-year-olds in your life there.
Yeah. Anyways, so he taught me some very, very valuable lessons because although we did houses together, we did other businesses together. And one thing he taught me was he's an ex-banker, so he has that philosophy. And it was if you're gonna fund a project. Now he's coming at it from a banker's perspective. Right. If I'm going to fund a product, in other words, if I'm a bank and I'm going to lend you money, what I'm going to look at is do you have enough money to do all the things you need to do? Right? Because if you don't have enough money, the project won't go and I won't get paid back.
Right.
You got to get all the way to the end.
Yeah.
Finish it.
So his perspective, whenever we looked at either houses or projects or businesses, was from that perspective. Like, is it the right numbers? So the first thing you're going to do, and you can get all this stuff. If you go to Flipping Houses for Rookies, we have a whole bunch of stuff on how to do the numbers and the math and all that kind of stuff, right? But the truth of the matter is, I could tell you that when I borrow money lately, and I have to change the number because it's kind of not working. It's a completely arbitrary number, but I always expect that I'm going to have at least 3 months worth of costs, and then I add $5,000 to it.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have, like I just borrowed, I bought a house for 110, I borrowed 125, and I only needed like 117, 18, like that, 119.
Right.
But I just made sure I had enough capital
to cover.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The point that I want to make, and this is a very strong point. It's a $260,000 house.
Right.
So my lender is in at 125.
And your lender is still very well positioned.
He is in very good position. The risk for him is hoping I don't pay.
Right.
Right. So that's a different perspective with your lender, which brings us to another one because there's, not finding the money or finding the money. We're kind of jumping ahead. It's a whole different perspective with your lender when you're like so light into the deal. They they lunge at you. Their Greek lines come out.
Yeah. That's when you know you have a deal, which touches on some of the other things that we've talked about, like how do I get money for the deal?
Right.
If you have a real deal, it's not going to be a problem.
Right.
People are going to be coming out of the woodwork at you.
So where I'm backwards with my deal structuring, completely backwards, and I mean that, I'm completely backwards when it comes to deal structuring. Where the normal herd or normal investor would think, I'm completely on the other side of the room. And the reason why I say that is because my first foot forward is always going to be a subject to deal. I'm going to want to take over the mortgage payments, and I'm going to want to get the deed in my name. Below that, it's a lease option. Those are my two favorite deals. That's what I want to do because you can never stop doing those deals. You need a $100 deposit. There's no risk. Deed's not in your name. You're using your buyer's money to fund the deal. It's like just too sweet. Okay? However, if the seller makes such a sweet deal with cash that it entices me and my lender to do the deal. In other words, the seller is willing to receive the right number and then minus that, like $110,000 for a $260,000 property. My seller was willing to do that. So it knocks all the other deals out of the box. Okay, I'll go get the cash.
Right. Right.
Where I think most investors will do the cash offer first and then think, well, if I can't do a cash offer, then I'll do a lease option or subject to. And I don't do that. And I didn't realize that until just the last few days, that my first offer is always going to be a subject to, then a lease option, and then a cash deal.
Do you present them that in that sequence, or
no? I just know.
That's what
I just
you're
know
hoping
my
for.
preference. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what I want anyways because I don't own the property.
Mm-hmm.
But I just know that if I had my choice, those would be the ones I would prefer.
Right.
Those are what I like. That's when I get excited.
Where does free and clear fit in that one? Because you like those a lot too.
Yeah, but that's the cash offers. I mean,
Mhm.
it's the same thing. Even though it's not subject to, often what I'll do is I'll tell a seller to go use their credit line and turn it into a subject to,
Mm-hmm.
Or seller financing.
or seller financing. You know, so it's even though it's not subject to per se, it's still I'm going to create the note on it. So now you know it doesn't matter if the bank's got the note or if I got the note, right?
Well, it just takes the bank out of you. You don't have to deal with that. It's directly between you and the seller.
Right.
However, owner financing is they're knockout dead, the best, most profitable, absolutely stunning deals. But they're far and few between. I mean, you might be able to do a couple of those a year if you're doing any significant outflow on with sellers. They're not going to fall into your lap. You know, they take work. I mean, think about your free and clear owner. I mean, he's owned this property in most cases 20, 30 years to pay the mortgage off.
Yep.
It's his retirement fund. It's his piggy bank.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now he's got something motivating him to break the piggy bank open.
Yeah.
It's like he's got this savings account down at the bank, and he's got this little passbook, and he's like going to go down to the bank. Okay, well, now I want to retire, and I want to move to Florida, and I want to be warmer, and I want to this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to sell my $260,000 house for $260,000. Okay, I want to go down to the bank, and I want to cash it in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's their viewpoint. That's where they're at.
Oh, yeah. I have one down the street, the house we looked at almost a year ago in Newington. It was that pink-sided house. And he wouldn't sell it to us because it needed renovation, needed everything. The real numbers were like, oh, I want more than that. Well, it's not going to work out. So he rented it again. Then for sale by owner, and then the realtor sign goes up. And I looked it up. He wanted so much money for this house that was completely unrenovated. And just a couple weeks ago, the sign came down, and there's a car in there. He rented it again. It wasn't sold, wasn't under contract, was just gone. Forget it. He's renting it again. Right. How many times is he going to do that before he gives up and comes off his number? So I've talked to a few of those guys. So you're looking for someone else who just really wants the house to go away, maybe inherited or that kind of
Somebody
thing.
that's realistic.
Tired landlord of it, just something. I talked to the guy who owns the house next to our Manchester house. Yeah. There's a house next to ours in Manchester. One day we come and it's boarded up in the windows and the roof. It had electrical fire. I got the whole story. I'll tell you later. But the guy is over there mowing the lawn, and I got the whole story from him. And he lived there. He moved out, bought a house. He's been renting it since 1986. And he's tired.
So did you buy it?
Not yet.
Okay.
No, he's got the insurance money. He's going to do something with it. Actually, I don't know if he's fixing or just selling it as is.
You didn't tell me all this, Peter. Cha-ching.
Cha-ching.
We're going to Bunch Street today.
Well, I'm looking more like you are. Less rehab, more what you're just talking about now. So my mind is a little bit more on that side.
In the other direction.
Yeah.
So I want to just make sure before I move on that's clear, like where my mindset is. Because most people will go in, they'll run in, they'll like, what's the way I want to explain this? It's like the football on the field. It's like, how do you approach getting the ball? Are you going to like run and get it, or are you going to be offense or defense? You know, I don't know if I'm doing this right.
Well, we're talking about what kind of play you're going to use. Like it could be like just pass, or just hand it off.
Yeah, you can tell neither of us are sports guys, but
yeah, I know it's terrible.
But the point is that the cash deals that I get are always, by the way, I'll give you this amount. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's why, because I was wondering the other day, somebody asked me a question the other day about how I get these deals, and it's because I don't look for them. They're always by the way.
Sure, but
how do you buy a $260,000 house for $110?
Right,
$110,000.
Right, but you have the knowledge and the confidence.
Yeah.
to be able to say that.
Well, you can make a low cash offer.
Yeah,
and if
anybody
they don't
can.
want it, then you go to your other
But it's
deals.
like,
The
okay.
guy goes, I don't want to do that either. He'll go, no, I guess I'll take that cash offer. You go, you will?
Right.
I mean, yes, you will. You
Yeah.
take it. So what's the harm in offering a low number that actually is fair to the person, considering the property, but is safe for you to do, considering everything that you have to deal with and don't know what's going to happen?
Right.
Correct.
The thing of the unknown when you're dealing with that, it'd be different, again, if you were, say, a family that was actually going to be living there, but you're an investor, you're a business. So you have to protect your business's interest.
That's right.
So
you can make that low cash offer. If he doesn't take it, you do your other offers.
right.
And if he takes it, like, good for you.
Right.
And then,
Right.
you know, if you don't have to, if you don't want, if you want to do the other deal, you don't have to do anything. That's when
Absolutely.
you want.
So, I want to make sure. I don't know why I have attention on this. So, when I make offers, I always make 3 offers.
Yes.
The cash offer is always the first offer.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where you're confused.
That's what I'm because I've heard you say that.
The
Now,
reason why I do
your
that
preferences
is
are not your
because-
sequences.
Right. Right.
Wow, wait a minute. Your preferences are not your sequences.
We should make that a rule. So,
It sounds good. Sounds like something.
so
Sounds catchy.
yeah.
So first with the cash offer.
So the cash offer is there because otherwise your seller's not listening to you because they want cash. So they're waiting for you to get to that offer.
Well, they're expecting to hear that anyways.
Yeah.
They're not expecting to hear the other ones.
So what I do is I give them the super low number. I call it the cold ice water dip. In other words, you shock them, right,
Yeah.
with the cash number.
Yeah.
And then once they know, oh, well, I'm not going to do that, right? Then now they're willing to listen to other offers that they would be able to do,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, but my point is that there's been many times where I'll give that low cash offer, go off and do the other 2 or 3 offers I'm going to give them, and they come back and they're like, no, I'll take the cash offer.
Yeah.
It's a by the way deal.
Yeah. You toss it off like this is low. I'm embarrassed, but
Yeah.
this is the best I could do would be blah blah. And one of your students did that not long ago, and she didn't think the woman would take it, and the woman took it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they
they
made
were
a great deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's the
I-
harm in asking?
I told her to bid to tell the lady 78,000, and she gave me a whole. It took me 45 minutes on the phone with her and her husband to convince them, and finally I'm like, just do it, and she's like, okay, and she bought the house for 80,000. They were thinking about somewhere like in the low 100s, and they wouldn't have made money. Now she says to me, right? Like we had another house that I bought with her. It was a $300,000 house that needed at the time $50,000 worth of renovations. There was a tornado and stuff, so it ended up being like $90,000, but they got insurance money.
Nice.
The point is that it was $300,000, and it took me about an hour to convince them. I wanted to be at 103. They landed at 105. She now tells me the house is all renovated, back on the market. She's like, I should have paid 95. She gets it now.
She gets it after she's gone through the process and
But
has seen.
that's exactly what my point
Yeah.
is if you just don't do it and you don't get through the experience,
Right.
you won't know things. Now, next time when I'm talking to her and saying, here's a number, she's not going to buck me
Right.
and say, no, they won't accept that.
Right. Exactly.
Right?
Is as you both know, like I've been doing like just furthering my real estate training and everything, and like there were classes, and they were, if an investor gives a seller an unscrupulous offer, I think they called it.
Right.
And we were tight on time, but oh my gosh, I was itching to say, like you guys don't even understand like everything that goes into what the investor does.
You know what's the matter with that saying? I think when you say when an investor gives an unscrupulous offer, it's completely, utterly contingent upon the receiving realtor's opinion.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
unscrupulous?
Exactly. For them, they were talking about, if it's half of what it's worth or whatever.
They don't even
But
realize that they're
they-
working for the buyer. Their job is to present any offer.
That's true.
They act like it's their money.
That's true. So here's
But won't they get a smaller
here's the
fee if they do
full-
that?
Exactly.
here's the full conversation though. They said you have to present every offer.
Yeah.
So that's what they were saying. If you feel like it's it's a ridiculous offer, it's unscrupulous, by law you still have to present it.
which most of them don't.
Correct. And
Whoa.
that was their point.
By law.
Yeah.
By
they
law,
don't?
you're supposed to, unless the
I've bought houses that way before.
the only thing that that can stop it is if there's a letter on file from the seller saying that I do not wish to receive any other offers.
Right.
Otherwise, by law, they have to submit that offer.
And I bought houses that way. I have realtors that are gatekeepers that will not let me make the offer, and I'll just tell them, should I call the realtor association, let them know you're not submitting the offer?
Oh, they tell you that they're not going to?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm surprised that they're telling you because it's against the law.
There's a realtor in
But-
Wallingford that does bank-owned properties, and he is a scumbag. I mean, he goes into the properties and he takes appliances out and sells them. They put fake furnaces in. I mean, this guy. We were in a house one time. Remember, I think you were with me. We were in a house in Wallingford. There was no furnace. They took all the ductwork and everything out of the house, and they just took the furnace out of the house. And if you didn't,
if
and
you
that's
didn't
him.
know,
if you're just a regular home buyer, you would have missed until you had the inspection, which is the stupid part because when the inspector comes, they're going to catch him anyways. But this dude is like that,
Unbelievable.
and he was the one. It's like, your offer's not high enough. You got to be higher. I won't submit it. I said, should I call the realtor association to let them know that you're doing that? I mean, I didn't buy that house, but I'm just saying that that's just the way it is.
yeah.
I'm surprised he's not in jail.
And if you, say you call back, okay, what did they think of the offer? Are they interested?
Right.
And, there's no answer or something, it might be something to put the heat under it. I've heard of some buyers almost kind of like getting around the realtor through creative methods to get straight to the owner because they suspect that
which is what we
they're
do.
not even seeing it.
Yep. All right, good. So the answer to the question is, if you bought property, what would you be most nervous about or keep you awake at night? So one answer was not having the correct answer, which also turned into another answer, which was not knowing an answer to the seller's questions, or not sounding like you know what you're doing. I think we covered that, right?
Bill?
Yeah.
I don't think they're answering the question right because you're saying if you bought the house.
Right.
Those are questions in trying to buy the house.
Right.
But they're good answers nonetheless. Right. Okay, in case
But it
somebody
shows where the
noticed
mindset
that.
is of most people.
They're not there yet.
Yeah.
They're like they're
they're
still
just
in,
not even.
They're not even in the house doing this. They can't even
Yeah.
get in the front door. So
Right.
so you say that they just think of can't even get that far.
Yeah.
So the other one is ongoing costs or holding costs.
Yeah.
Right. The other one is finding the money, which, I mean, we didn't really talk about that, but I don't want to belabor that because as far as I'm concerned, that was the negotiating.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's squeezed in with your
Because-
properties that were good. You got a good price on the house, so it's not that hard to find
Right.
private money. It's really light on the investment.
Right. So what happens is if you're not negotiating the deals correctly or confidently, I'm going to make this statement. I don't want to talk about this because, honestly, we can go off onto an hour tangent on this. But I'm going to tell you, after helping many, I don't even know how many, since you've been with me, Peter, you've only been with me 2 years. I've been doing this 15 years. How many people do you think I've helped buy real estate?
Oh, buy real estate?
A lot.
Yeah, and it's hard to say because we find out from people just listening they're buying
Right.
them. We
Yeah.
don't we find out later.
Just
You
from the
bought how many
podcast.
did you buy? 5? Really?
Right.
Wow.
And I'm going to tell you something that I recently figured out. The thing that makes the most amount of deals. There's one thing that makes the most amount of deals, and that's confidence when you're making the offer.
Mm.
It's being there in present time, totally confronting your seller, not worried about whether you make the deal or there's an upset or there's a, like I'll give you 3 cents for your $2 million property. And you're not worried about the reaction. You're not worried about the emotions. You're not worried about anything. You're just there, confident, sturdy, and able. And that's what makes deals.
Yep.
Because I was wondering, why is it that when I go out with my students or if I go out with Naomi or, and no disrespect to you, but, it's like, what's the difference between me and them? It's like, I'm in half the situations, I'm the dumbass in the room. You know what I mean? I'm not the, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. So, Yet the other people are much smarter than me. They have more money than me. They have, you know what I mean? Some of the people I've been in rooms with, especially some of my students. Like, so what's the difference between me and them? And that's what I figured out. And that's not something I can teach. I can help people with it in our workshops and seminars and stuff like that. But confidence, the ability to be there cleanly, not evaluating for your seller, keeping a good, clean communication, two-way communication with tons of affinity, understanding where they're coming from and having agreements between the two of you, like the house is worth $300,000 and it is a nice house, it is a good neighborhood, or it's not worth $300,000, it's worth $200,000 and it's not in a nice neighborhood. You know, whatever the agreements are between you and the seller are steadfast, and you're able to communicate about it. What I have found, and then we're going to move on, what I have found is the reason why most people don't have the confidence is because they haven't asked the right questions to find out what the person's reality really is, and they're not in the person's head. Like, one of the comments that I make very often is the safest place to be is in your seller's world. And what that means is you have so much empathy, like you and the seller are almost one person. Like, you're feeling what they're feeling. Yeah. You know what they know. You're seeing you from their eyes. Right? And when you get that and you're that close, and I'm not talking about, you know, like some sexual or emotional or, you know, like that kind. I'm just talking about you're in such good communication with them that they trust you. And you tell them the good and the bad and the ugly.
You know,
you're not afraid of losing a deal. You're not there for a deal. You're there to help them.
Exactly.
That's important.
But it, you know, and it takes complete focus.
Right.
So you're not, you know, worried about this or that. You're just completely zoned in on them.
There's a different.
They're zoned in on you.
Yes.
They're zoned in on you. So when you say to them, you know, I'm worried about buying this property because I got to pay $1,800 a month. I don't think I can find my buyer. They're with you.
Yeah. Exactly. But
they're with you.
That's the thing, is like, once you connect.
So what I'm trying to say, Peter, before we come back to you. So what I'm trying to say is, you know, if you have worries or if you have concerns, then just communicate them correctly. Like that house I had in Middlebury not too long ago. That's what happened to that deal. I've been thinking about that deal, like, how did I screw that deal up? Well, I screwed the deal up because I was trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. That's what I was really trying to do. I was trying to take 2 or 3 deal structures and put them together to satisfy her, because what she was really willing to accept is owner financing and payments. But when she came back to you, she said, I only wanted to pay $500. That is not what I told her.
Right.
And I could have went back and made the deal, because I really promised her like $1,200 because I'm paying the taxes, insurance, and other stuff.
Right.
But she was netting $500.
Right.
So she talked to somebody, I'm sure, or something happened. I don't know what happened. The
Yeah,
atomic
but
bomb went off there. And
part
it
of
blew
it,
up in her head.
though, you know, not I don't want to digress on it too much, but part of it is I don't think she was an appropriate seller to work with. I really do not. I think it would have been a constant troubles. And the first red flag, which was what I told you the day after, said we were all on the same plane. You know, we were like good to go. And then the next morning, basically everything that we had discussed that appeared to be rock solid,
right,
then was like mush. So when you have a
so
communication
you've had relationships like that, right?
Right.
Where you got to blow life into the other person so you can get what you want.
Exactly. And so to be constantly to be married to that,
right,
business-wise, for the next, God knows how long, 7 years, it's like, oh, hell no.
So
You know what I mean?
I'm going to spit something out real quick here, and then we're going to move on. Okay? This is what I believe. You don't have to believe me. Anybody listening doesn't have to believe me, but I believe this. Okay? In a relationship, here's the formula. This is a formula for a relationship. It's co-support, co-support. No, I'm sorry. Self-support, self-support. So if you think of it like a foundation.
Right.
So you have to have self-support. I have to have self-support.
Right.
They go to co-support.
Correct.
And then head towards the goals of the relationship. So what happens in a lot of relationships is as we're growing, your self-support is weak, and I have to overcompensate for that. Or mine is weak, and you have to compensate for that. Now, it's okay temporarily, but not a lifetime.
On a consistent basis,
so
it will wear the other person
If
down.
our relationship's going to be good, it's like you got to be able to take care of you, I got to be able to take care of me, and then we can meet in the middle and together grow and head towards the goals.
Right. Whereas if the seller, in this case, is constantly falling to mush, which she did, I think, like
she's
3
not
times.
self-support.
She's not self-supportive.
Right.
So
and now you have to go over to her side of the table, and you got to help her bolster her up so she can self-support herself.
Exactly. It's like you're rebuilding her every single time you speak with her, and it's like, oh my gosh.
Right.
You know, there are some things that money just cannot put a price tag on sanity. Like, you know.
So anyways, there you go. Did you want to say something?
No, it's a tiny point. Just keep going.
All right. So I wanted to kind of end off here with a couple things. So what... So after this, I probably should do this at the end of the show, but so one of the things that I know we do, and it's not just me, because I like to say it's me, but it's all of us, because it's really the 4 of us. It's Naomi and Pete and Emma. Emma does a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, and myself. Obviously, the real estate experience is mine, but there's so much more to it than real estate experience.
Yeah.
You know, how do you deliver the education? How do you do it online? How do you do the marketing? How do you do the sales? You know, all of that stuff, right? So what people love about us, and this is just because I had surveys out, so I'm going to give you the other end of it.
What do people say about us, Bill?
Right. So what they love is they love seeing how the deals make money. That's the number one answer.
So they don't care about us. They like
they like to see how they see.
They didn't come to see us.
They like to see how the deals make money.
Yeah.
That's it's fascinating. When I first started listening to you, I couldn't get it right away. Like, wait a minute, why would they do that? But then after, oh my God, and the way you structure stuff, it's great.
And then they like the exposure to all the possibilities of doing business without down payments or risks.
Yeah.
So because they've never heard that before.
Yeah.
And they also like this one is mostly for me, I think, but I think it definitely, because I'm like that, I think you guys are like that, because birds of a feather flock together. So I think, I mean, I started it because it's just naturally who I am, but you guys are definitely what I'm going to say right now. It's the honesty and how I show everything up front, especially how to break the deals down and the deal flow. Deal flow is a big one. I get a lot of response on that, the deal flow. We teach people the deal flow. They don't understand the deal flow. And what I mean by that is, what do you do first? What do you do second? What do you do fifth? You know, what step do you take next?
Right.
And when I say on my tombstone, it's going to say, and I know you guys thought, you answered the question like, what do I want on my tombstone? What I was thinking is what other people will put on my tombstone, because I'll be dead.
Right.
So somebody else has to make the decision what goes on my tombstone. That's what I was talking about, right? Is I got you going. And the reason why is because I live under the oath of the next step. Everything in my life is the next step. You know, I don't care if it's sex. I don't care if it's money. I don't care if it's food. I don't care if it's like going on a boat. You know, it's like, what's the next step? And I live my entire life that way. It's like, okay, so I want to go on the boat. So what's the next step? Okay, I need to go out and I need to clean the boat. Actually, before I do that, I need to go get the materials to clean. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like everything is done on a gradient. Everything is done on a gradient.
You know, and it's a combined long-term and short-term goal. Like if you're traveling from the East Coast to the West Coast,
right,
and you put in like, San Diego, California.
That's right.
So you have San Diego, California. You have to have some sort of destination. Otherwise, you could end up in a really bad place in Mexico. So you have to set that destination. But at the same time, while you're traveling down the road, you're only going to see, what the next mile ahead of you, or give or take, or 20 miles, depending on the visibility of that day. But you don't see the full destination. So it's a combination of the next step and having the end goal.
So I was just looking in the rule book because Peter and I have I have almost 80 rules now. But one of the rules is just what you're talking about, is pick the right goals.
Right.
Like what you're saying, the goal is to get to San Diego. Yeah, that's definitely true. But the real goal is let's get everything ready for the trip.
Right. See, that's the next step. It's like you have to have one, and then you have the next step. So it's like a long term and short term, because it's constantly adjusting.
Right. So what I'm saying is a little bit different than that, and you're 100% correct. It's just my take on it. What I'm saying is this, sometimes the steps are so big that they're actually goals.
Right.
So it's like Tim just decided to live on his boat for a year. So his first goal was, okay, figure out if we could do this monetarily.
Wow.
And then the second goal is, okay, so what do we do with all our stuff and how do we handle it? And then the third goal is, how do we financially live? And then all these like mini goals have steps underneath them, but they're, as you're doing them, you're accomplishing the overall goal.
Yeah.
And real estate is very much like that.
Yep.
So it's like, you know, like we had the girl at the meetup last night. She's telling us how she's getting the business cards, and she's doing what Kiyosaki told her to do was get
the
business,
LLC.
I felt so bad for her that I actually gave her one of my $100 courses for free.
Oh, wow.
Because she's completely off on the wrong path.
You should have seen the look on her face. She didn't know.
Crying.
Yeah.
She started crying.
Wow.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! I'm gonna do it! I'm gonna do it! Oh my God! Oh my, yeah, it was a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah.
Wow.
Handed her a thumb drive and a little booklet. Just changed her life.
Yeah, and she'll do it too because she's been to the meetups. Okay, so with that said, I want to kind of segue right into, because I know we're kind of winding down here. So exactly what you're talking about, Naomi. Exactly what you're talking about. I want to completely, utterly, thoroughly validate this. Okay, because if you provide the right input, you get the outputs you want. If you provide the right input, you get the outputs you want. So the first thing is why am I going to San Diego? What's the purpose of me going to San Diego? Because purpose drives the goal.
Exactly.
The
That's
reason
the
why and the passion and the human what's the word, Peter? Sentience? Sentience.
No. That your thoughts?
Yeah, like your feelings.
Yeah.
Right? That's what drives it. I was telling Peter this morning, and I don't want to go off on a tangent, but, you know, it's like I had a purpose in life when I was 17 years old.
Yeah.
That I wanted to be a real estate investor that was, like, known for my abilities. And unbeknownst to me, I hit that, and I didn't set another goal.
Right.
So I kind of flopped around for a while, right? So I wanted to be known as like the go-to guy. This is something. It's like a personal thing.
Right.
I wanted to be so good at it that I never worried about it. That I was a complete, absolute expert master at it, and I am.
And you're teaching people. You've got students all over the country.
I am.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not even about being a guru or anything like that. It just was a self-preservation thing? Is that the right to say that? No, it's just like a passion that I had, a self-passion. It was like a hidden thing that I wanted.
Right.
Well, lately, I bought a new book. I was telling him about it. I spent a few $100s for this book, right?
Wow,
yeah,
nice.
And I've only read like the first 10 pages, and I'm like blown away. And it was so worth the money. I would pay 3 times it. Now that I've read the first 10 or 12, I would have paid 3 times for the money for the book. But the thing that I realized is that I have a new passion. And not that I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing, but I want to like be known as like a good copywriter, like an expert copywriter, like a go-to guy for copywriting. And I don't know why. I have no idea why. It just excites me. So all I'm saying is there is passion.
Those are some really good passions combined. Real estate with copywriting.
Yeah.
Some powerful things going on.
So the reason why I say if you provide the right input, you'll get the right outputs. So you have to make decisions on who influences you, and you have to make decisions on what information you're getting. Is it forwarding your purpose or not?
Yeah.
Is this helping me? Right? So something just went through my mind, but I can't remember how to say it, so I'm going to move on. All right, so the other thing I want to cover, because we're really winding down now, okay, is the biggest mistake in new investors. This is the biggest mistake. I get all this from the surveys.
Yeah.
Okay, so This is huge, and it's probably a whole show by itself, and we're 59 minutes into this show. But I'm just going to
tune in next week, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm going to drop the bomb now.
We should have cliffhangers, Bill.
Yeah. Talk about copywriting. If you believe people use reason for important decisions in life, you'll go through life feeling confused and totally frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, crap.
That's been your problem, Pete.
Being logical, sensible.
You're logical. The world's emotional.
There you go. Yeah. The reality is often reason is the smallest driver in the decision process. Okay? I'm just reading my notes because it's easier that way. That is what we get. Misguided with. Okay, now we're making an offer. And that's what I'm talking about. This is what we get misguided with. Not looking for the emotions of a motivated seller. And try to use what we would do or type of reason that we would do ourselves. And that doesn't work. So,
ouch.
Like you were talking about the student before that wanted to offer the lady like $100,000, and I'm like, no, be $78,000, and she ended up buying the house because she's using reason, thinking that the other person is not going to take the offer, and never considered the emotional side. Yeah. So this is a huge, profound thing on the difference between a motivated seller and a suspect, because a suspect is just trying to use reason. Give me my $85,000, get away from me. A prospect is more emotional. They have like things attached to it that's hurting them. They have a pressing
need that just, it needs to happen, and it needs to happen now. And they can't wait for the real estate process. They can't wait for, it just needs to happen.
You get it?
Oh, yeah.
It's huge. So we should talk about this more, not today, but so a prospect is more emotional and a suspect is more on reason. And when I thought of that the other day, I'm like, holy crap. That's a whole nother avenue.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that next week seriously? Because that's, you say a lot of things that make
topic.
sense, but that's extremely important. That's like A, B.
Yeah.
A is wrong, B is right. And we're all going kind of A, thinking logically it's real estate with the numbers and how much, and, calculators. There's more going on here.
So that goes back to the last one I was just talking about, which is if you provide the right input, you get the output you want. Mm-hmm. So that's like when you're making an offer. If you're talking about emotions and the pain and the things that they're experiencing, then you'll get a better output.
Right.
But if you're just like, oh, I'll give you $35 and that's it, and it's just reason, it won't work.
No, houses, there's a lot of emotion in a house.
Yeah.
You might not think about it. Move out of yours if you've been in it for a long time. A lot of things have happened there. Your children were conceived there. I mean, a lot of stuff has happened there. And I've seen you in a house talking to a person and you're getting what's going on. And you actually say it back to them. So let me get this right. You're selling the house because da-da-da-da-da-da. You'll tell them what you think is happening. They go, yeah, that's it. You can see it on their face. Yeah. Or they say, nope.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, but you ask.
But the question after that is, so what is it? And then they'll just give it to me.
Yeah,
exactly.
See, the thing that you do, I almost said this before. Let me put it all together. People at the beginning of this don't know what the approach is, what their temperament should be, or their attitude. They're not sure if they should be professional. They should be adversarial. Like, is this a competition? And they find out when they listen to you on recordings or see you in a house, if they're with you, it's like a friend helping a friend. Like, well, let's go. Let me see if I can help you with that. Right. And you're really like that.
Exactly.
And people don't think like that. They think, what can I get? Right. You have to get over that. Yeah. Because we're not just buying on the MLS a cold, dead house. Right. You're buying something from a person. And it's a
person-to-person
and it's different.
thing.
Isn't it surprising when you first hang out, like, oh, that's how he talks to people? On the phone thing, it's kind of like being nice or something.
Oh,
but that's what it is.
You get in their world. Absolutely.
You don't have to be a jerk or some kind of big hard ass or fat old smoking cigar guy. Not you particularly, but the typical Monopoly guy.
Is that going to be on my tombstone?
We can put that on the bottom.
Fat old cigar guy that helped me get going.
Okay, there's the whole thing now. Now I was thinking of that because I'm working with a tenant of mine that things aren't working so hot, and I think he just thinks of me as the old greedy guy,
Right.
and like gimme. This guy owes me over $3,000. He's asking for improvements in the condominium. And it changes to the new lease. No.
Do like what I did. I would say, I tell him, yeah, I'll help you get improvements.
Yeah. We get a new tenant.
Yeah, you're going to get a new place to live because you're out of here.
Yeah. No, I looked at it, I said, no, he's getting an answer today. It's going to be pretty cold. It's like, no. But, you up to that point, you're nice. And after that point, look, you're not nice to me. I'm sorry. That's the end. But you're nice to people to help them.
All right. So we're going to end the show with this because this is what I want to talk about next week. So here's my cliffhanger. Most people know only the stuff that qualifies as common knowledge. Most people know only stuff that qualifies as common knowledge. How much more effective would you be if you had a greater knowledge and understanding of your craft? In this case, real estate investing. What would it be like if you actually got the details? What would it be like if you actually experienced and did all the things we're talking about on the show? Because that's all I did. It's not because I have like a high IQ or something. No, I just went out there and just implemented it. That's all I did.
You just did it.
I just did it. And then when the mistakes happened, I worked my way out of it. And those mistakes and those, which is how we started the show, those painful points are what you guys all want to hear about. So it doesn't happen to you. Well, I got news for you. It doesn't matter. It's going to happen to you. It's just going to happen to you.
But there's always a solution.
You don't have a job not
how you react to it that makes a difference.
You don't have a job not to solve problems.
Right.
Exactly.
If you're a plumber, your job. I have a friend's emergency room. His job is only solving problems.
Yeah.
It's not routine. Plumbers only solving problems. It's not like
anybody can find problems. Anybody.
Well, your mind
Anybody.
is there just to solve problems.
Right. And
so you think that your mind's going to stop working if you have no problems?
Right.
No, your mind's going to constantly. Maybe it's
your mind
it'll
might
find
create
maybe it's survival.
Yeah,
you're laying in a hospital bed and you're trying to figure out how you can like survive.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's how to make $1 million. You need to choose which problems you're going to give your mind.
And it's just give yourself higher and higher level problems. Become a higher and higher person that can handle better and bigger problems.
Right.
What kind of problems do you want to handle?
Well, you want to have a big life? You want to have a big life or a little life?
Exactly.
Better question. I have a better question than that. Do you want to live life or you want life to live you? That's a better question.
That's a real good question.
You want to live life or you want life to live you? All
Mm-hmm.
right, so please take a couple minutes if you like our shows or not like our shows and go over to flippinghousesforrookies.com/podcast and give us a review, good, bad, or indifferent. I'm trying to get us ranked up there again because I dropped down in the iTunes platform because I had a guy helping me with it and he wasn't doing some good things, so I got rid of him. So I'm trying to do it naturally. Share it with your friends on Facebook. If you are on Facebook, share it with your friends on Facebook so we can help them. And then, of course, all the stuff we're talking about is in my Vanguard course, which is how to make money with real estate, how to buy real estate without a loan. And I've recently changed that page, so if you've not been there, you should go check it out. That is at flippinghousesforrookies.com, or you can go to flippinghousesforrookies.com/buy without a loan. And then we've just created a new product called, that's actually not the big course, it's actually a smaller version of the big course that we're selling for $17. And it's how to find motivated prospects. We actually allow you into the membership portal and give you the first five or six modules so that you can actually find motivated sellers and do the stuff we're talking about. I know we keep talking about this is what you should do, but how do you find them? Yeah. And that is at flippinghousesforrookies.com deal hunting. So it's flippinghousesforrookies.com deal hunting. Okay, so you should go check those out. So if you're ready to like jump in and make money, I've had multiple amount of clients within 30 days end up with their with deals that pay them anywhere from $3,000 to $150,000 within 30 days. If you're not quite ready and you just want to find out how to get deals and feel like you want to do it yourself, then you go to flippinghousesforrookies.com /deal hunting, and figure out how you can start finding some of the deals we're talking about and finding motivated sellers and prospects. Okay?
Yep.
That's it.
Over and out.
Thanks for tuning in to the hottest real estate topics on the planet with Bill and Pete. If you want to continue learning how to buy and sell real estate without money or credit, head over to flippinghouses.club for some cutting-edge real estate wealth tools. Or contact us at info@flippinghouses.club.